If you drive a Chevy Malibu and you hear a weird clunking popping sound coming from the back of the vehicle, especially during the warm summer months, the noise is likely coming from the rear knuckle. So this video is going to show you how to make the sound go away without replacing the entire knuckle. It's pretty easy to do. It takes a few tools, but nothing too complicated. We're going to start by jacking up the vehicle and safely putting a jack stand underneath it. Next, we're going to remove the rear tire, and I'm using a 1/2-inch DeWalt impact. This little cordless tool is really great. I'll put a link in the description. It has enough power to remove these lug nuts. Next, I'm going to remove the lower A-arm bolt or knuckle bolt, whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to use between the jack and the jack stand to try to kind of get some of the pressure off. So once I get the nut off, I can get the bolt out without it binding up too much. Then I lower the vehicle down onto a jack stand that's positioned under the top part of the suspension to kind of hold it up out of the way to pull that lower joint on the knuckle out of the lower A-arm so that I can work on it. Now, if you stick a screwdriver or a ratchet extension through this lower joint on the knuckle, it should move around pretty easily. What happens is the grease in these get dried up and they get super sticky. And so when your rear suspension moves up and down just a little bit, this knuckle pops back and forth. That joint pops back and forth a little bit, but it's got sticky grease in there. And so that's where that clunking sound comes from. So what we're going to do is remove the clip, the metal clip that holds this little boot on, and shove a bunch of grease down in there. I had to have a 3/8 ratchet extension through this lower joint and hit it with a hammer just to get it to break free. And once I get it broke free and the clip removed, then I am able to slowly start working it back and forth and pumping more and more grease in there to get it to move more freely. Now, you do want to be careful not to rip the boot. It's pretty flexible, but the older your vehicle is, the more likely it is to be dried and crack and rip as you're pulling and pushing on it. So I didn't show the whole thing on video, but I did do this to both sides, and I squirted grease on both the top and the bottom. I was kind of able to unscrew the tip off the end of the grease gun and just shove the hose right up underneath the boot and pump some grease in there. And by the time I was done, this joint was moving around really easily. Now, when it comes to putting it back together, it can be a little bit of a challenge to get the height right to get your bolt lined up to go through this lower A-arm, but I just went back and forth between pumping the vehicle up and moving the jack stand and kind of prying on things with the pry bar a little bit until I got everything lined up. And you use the weight of the vehicle and the jack stands and the pump jack to help get everything lifted and moved and scooted into the right spot so that you can fit the bolt through. Oh, and don't forget to put the metal clips back on to hold the boot in place. The metal clips, I didn't get a very great video of it, but once you get in there and start working on it, you'll be able to see. I think I just used maybe a mechanic's pick or a little screwdriver or maybe the both of them to kind of pry it up and off a little bit, but the clips actually came on and off pretty easily. So that wraps this one up. After getting the tire bolted back up, we take it for a test drive and let the owner of the vehicle see if it sounds any better. What's the consensus?
No popping.
No popping. There we go. Fixed it. That's great news that it sounds better. So this one's done. I hope this helps. Now, realistically, the sound's probably going to come back, but for now, to get you through a year or two without having to spend the money to do the full knuckle replacement, this was a good fix that worked out. So hope it helps. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments and I'll be sure to answer. Thanks for watching. Bye.